Welcome to the Real Estate Syndication Show. Whether you are a seasoned investor or building a new real estate business, this is the show for you. Whitney Sewell talks to top experts in the business. Our goal is to help you master real estate syndication. And now your host, Whitney Sewell.
You know that to make it in this business, you must attract passive investors. How do you do that? Learn the secrets at the Virtual Raising Money Summit. Text Whitney to 55444 to get a special pricing of only $97. This is your daily real estate syndication show. I'm your host, Whitney Sewell. Today, our guest is Ashton Levarek. Thanks for being on the show, Ashton.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm honored to have you on the show, Ashton. And a little about Ashton, if you don't know him, he's the founder and managing partner of Valkyrie Investment Group. Ashton acts as a network facilitator and acquisitions lead. Understanding that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, Ashton is focused on teaming with opportunity-minded investors seeking to build equity and maximize profitability for everyone involved. As an Air Force Special Operations parachute jumper, a sniper, and a special warfare team leader, Ashton is no stranger to leadership under pressure, no-fail mission planning, and execution. Ashton, that's an impressive bio. And again, I wanted to thank you for your service. Just grateful for our men and women that serve, and I know even now you're fixing to be deployed again. So just grateful for your service. Just want to thank you for that. But welcome to the show, and I'd love for you to just give us a little more about who you are and just Valkyrie Investment Group. A little bit about who that is, what you all do, and let's jump into your superpower.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thanks again for having me on. Definitely an honor. I've watched your show for a while, or listened to your show for a while. Love it. But yeah, a little bit about myself. My brother and I, we partnered back in 2018. We started out with small multifamily. And really the reason was, we wanted to create some other source of income, multiple streams of income. The military is, it's tough to actually make income that'll last after the military, even with, your retirement and everything. And if you get like 100% disability, it's still. So we started looking at other avenues. Real estate was one I had heard about, my brother had heard about. So we partnered on a couple duplexes. And then everything we did, though, we partnered with other people too. So we partnered with other people's money. And we just started to realize that the economies of scale were better in larger multifamily. And so we jumped into a 13 unit and then a 16 unit. And the 16 unit was our first official syndication. And then we partnered again, and we're doing a 220 unit in Columbus, Ohio, and a 120 unit in Greenville, Texas right now. So we're excited. We're always learning, always growing, but that's kind of the name of the game, right? Nothing's stagnant.
That's right. That is right. Well, no, that's impressive. That is impressive. So y'all started with some small multifamily. Sounds similar to my story, but started with small multifamily. You learned about scaling the business and just being able to, do larger deals. What was it that, I guess, gave you that confidence to be able to jump from, say that, what'd you say, a 13 unit or, a smaller multifamily property like that to a 220 unit?
Confidence. I've kind of always been that. So I'm a fan of General Patton's saying, not because he was in the military, but just because I really like the saying, a good plan executed violently this week is better than a perfect plan executed next week. And so we didn't have everything, we didn't know everything. We didn't know what we didn't know, of course. But we knew that we had to take action, and we knew where we wanted to end up, right? We had a vision for the future. We had a number in our mind, a number of units, a number of amount of cash flow, and so on. And so, so long as you have that vision in mind, we knew that we could shift the strategy. And we saw that multifamily did it better. So, one roof over 2 units or one roof over 100 units, what's the difference, right? Yes, you have to get more people involved. I'm not trying to, oversimplify it. But I think if you're clear about what you want, I tell people sometimes, like, why learn to ride a bike if really what you want to do is fly? So we focused on what we wanted to do. We wanted to grow into something big, so let's do it. So we started talking to brokers, we started talking to other syndicators in the business, and we jumped in. I mean, that's the path we took, and we were lucky because we put ourselves in the right position to meet the right people, to meet the right asset managers, property managers, contractors. We really got out there, built our brand, and built our network, and that's what facilitated really.
Nice. Well, I'd love to hear, more about that deal, but, and maybe we can have you back and us talk about some deal specific stuff and what you all are doing. But, with your training and even, in some of the stuff you had sent to us, you mentioned one of your superpowers was mindset, and you wrote success simply requires clarity, commitment, and daily action. I love that. And I'm a big proponent for just focusing on, just mindset. And I push that back a lot of that to my military training and law enforcement and things like that. And I would imagine you probably do as well. So, I'd love to hear just your story around that and just the mindset piece behind, you personally, where that came from, your training, and then just really how that's helped you in your real estate business as well. But then us also give the listeners some actionable steps that ways you can help them just to get their mindset, just concreted so they can move forward in their business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's been a 20-year, adventure for me. But, starting with clarity, you have to have clarity of what you want. What do you truly want? What are you trying to achieve in this world and in your life? And really that goes, I like doing an audit of my whole life. Like, where am I health-wise? Where am I with my family? Where am I, so where do you want to be? And if you're not clear about where you want to be, then that's the first place you need to start, where you want to be. And I think Traction's a great book. If you've ever read Traction, or, people are looking for a good book on how to reach out and make their plan, their 5-year, 3-year plan or whatever. But ultimately what it's saying is just reach out into the future. Where do you want to be in 3 years? And then backwards plan from there. That's something that the military is huge on. We have a target, and the mission isn't dictated by how we get to the target. The target is dictated, or the how we get to the target is dictated by the target itself. So, for example, like our vision is to have so many units, or our vision in the military is to go after this certain guy. Like, are we going to fly there or parachute in? It really depends on the target, not necessarily on what you like. If you like multifamily, great, but is that getting you to where you want to go? So I think really doubling down on being clear before you start anything is really, really important. And then the next one would be, commitment. I like commitment because I've been through a lot of selections. I've been through a lot of, I don't know, some people would say really tough selection courses for the military. And I think the one thing that stands out is the people that aren't committed don't make it. And that goes with anything. I mean, if you're not committed to learning to rollerblade, you're not going to, as unfashionable as it is, you're still not going to, you're not going to get it. But you have to commit. You have to commit and commit every day. It's a daily thing. And anybody that's been married knows it's a daily thing. You have to build on that every day. You have to renew that commitment every day, or at least every week. But yeah. And so I think the commitment part, you have to have faith in yourself, obviously. And a lot of people, that's where it's kind of goes hand in hand with taking action every day. So every time you take action, you're building that faith, you're building that confidence in what you're doing. And so that's why I always come back to get clarity, commitment, and take action. So as you do each one of those, they'll play into the next one, and then back again. And as you get clear, you can commit better. And as you commit, you can take action. And as you take action, you can re-clarify your goals and re-clarify where you need to be. So I think those 3 steps, like you said, are very essential to success in any realm.
Yeah. So, I love that. And really you're talking about just personally, your family and your health and those things, but knowing, having clear, like where you want to go, where you want to be, what was it though that gave you that mindset, and I know, I contribute so much of just the never give up mentality, right? Just, nope, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Yes, my feet may hurt, but I'm going to keep marching. Right. So that kind of mentality, from the military but, is that something, like you're talking about, being clear on where you want to go? How do you, is that something you're documenting? Is that something that's changing on a weekly basis or an annual basis? What's some of that process for you?
It's not changing on a weekly basis. So like I said, the vision stays the same, but the strategy may change. So for example, at the beginning, the vision was to have so much cash flow so that we could essentially quit our jobs and be able to live off our own business, right? So that was the vision. That hasn't changed. But we've realized new strategies to get there, right? And so multifamily syndication is the one we're focusing on. That may change in the future too. I mean, who knows? Something might happen with politics, with the whatever, and you may want to shift to, I don't know, buying gold or whatever. But the point is, like, you have to be clear about what you want, where you want to end up, and then be flexible in your strategy. And we've been able to do that with real estate. I mean, obviously there's 101 ways to get into real estate, but that's basically it. We're just staying fluid with the strategy. The strategy, we try to do 90-day sprints and hit a 1-year goal. And that 1-year goal lets us know that we're on track for our 3-year and then our 5-year. But that's how we do it. So if we shift strategy, it's only every 90 days. We don't do it weekly. We don't do it daily. But I think that's a very, key point so that you don't get that shiny object syndrome, as they call it, where you're looking at everything like, oh, we could get into Airbnbs, or, oh, we could, start doing, I don't know what else, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we start flipping, but you have to have a clear strategy to actually follow. Hope that helps.
I love how then you go right into just the commitment, and you mentioned the people that are not committed are not going to make it. And I can relate to that so well. Just military and boot camp, boot camp to other training, just like you talked about. Other specialized training gets more difficult typically, right? And you see people fall out, and even in law enforcement or whatever it may be, but even in real estate, it's so many people try to get in, and I just relate it to the military training as well. I mean, if you're not committed, it's going to show pretty quickly. And so how do you talked about renewing that commitment every day. Is there something you do just to really remind yourself of that commitment, or just be able to stay committed and stay in that frame of mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how I got into this, but when I was in high school, I started journaling, and, to a lot of my knuckle dragging meathead friends, they might kind of scoff at that, but I think it helps you stay focused. So I used to get up every morning. I still do this. I get up every morning and I would write or look at my goals. And this became very helpful. And I haven't done it every single day of my life, but it became very helpful when I was going through challenges or going through selections and actually trying to achieve something. Like I wake up and write down my goals. Where do I want to be? And again, I'm renewing that I'm clarifying where I want to go, and I'm recommitting to those goals every day. And then I write down what I'm going to do to hit those goals that day. And so what are my actionable, what are my actions that I'm going to take that day to move the needle? Whether that needle needs to be moved like 1 foot or, 2 miles or whatever. Am I going to make an offer on a property, or am I just going to reach out and talk to somebody? Or maybe I'm just going to learn a new strategy. That's it. Like action does, it's different for everybody. But I really think doing that every day, clarifying, committing, and taking action every day is very important. And I think you'll find that with most successful people out there. They're very clear, committed, and taking action.
Bedford's Cost Segregation specializes in generating significant tax savings via their engineering-based studies for commercial real estate clients nationwide. Founded in 2002, Bedford is one of the largest independently owned cost segregation providers in the country, with over 14,000 studies completed to date in multiple offices throughout. The most important decision ownership can make when incorporating cost segregation within their real estate portfolio is selecting the right provider. With only 43 certified cost segregation professionals nationwide, Bedford is proud to employ 8 of them and takes the quality of their people as seriously as their studies. Every certified cost segregation professional has passed a rigorous test combining knowledge of technical engineering issues, legal tax issues, ethics standards, and requires a strict level of prior work experience to be eligible. Bottom line, not all cost segregation providers are created equal. So be sure to take the decision seriously from the beginning to protect yourself for years to come. Please contact Bedford's Business Development Director, Frank Judici, to learn more. I would say most of those people are also doing your next thing, just a daily action. There's something daily that they've done. And probably there's been some time, I know with me it was this way, there's like this time where my daily routines changed.
Yeah.
And part of that was like getting up early and doing some of the things you're talking about, being up early, educating, reading, figuring out what I can do that day. What are any more of those, daily actions that you were taking, especially initially to get into the real estate business that you can share with listeners?
Yeah, I'm a big reader. I just inhale books. Podcasts are great, obviously, but the book that really kind of got me on I really like The Miracle Morning. The Miracle Morning, he sets out those, I think it's 6 or 7 action steps, savers. And I think it's very effective, silence, affirmations, visualizations. I think it's education, reading, and scribing. Like, I think those are very powerful. And for much of the same reason we're saying right now, just keep that education going, get clear about your goals, visualize your goals, sit in silence and reflect. I mean, it's just really powerful. And I think that book lays it out really well, especially because he backs it up with like the hundreds of successful people that follow those kind of, practices. But that's a great place to start if people are looking for a routine. You don't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to do it too. You can get up later. But I think if you have kids, if you're married, if you have another job, getting up early is essential. And I get up around 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning because I have 2 kids and I have another job. But, make it fit your schedule.
It's interesting you brought that book up. That was the book that I read when like my morning routine changed completely. And I could say, that so much has come from that by being committed to getting up early. And it's like, maybe I didn't learn a ton from that book, but it helped me to structure my morning. So then I could educate myself about so many other things, and be committed
Absolutely.
to that time in the morning. So, tell us though, I know you're working with your brother or, business partner through all this as well. What does that look like for, you all together to be doing this? Is he also in the military?
He got out, went back to college and did the smart stuff. He's an IT manager. That's interesting. That's a whole nother topic. We're completely opposites. I'm more visionary, big picture. He's more detail oriented, systems process. Yeah. He would be a great guy to talk to about setting up your business, the systems, applications of how to get everything running smoothly. But anyway, yeah, working with him initially, I thought we were very much alike, but we did I looked at doing the DISC profile and we read the book Traction, and you kind of look at who needs to fit in where on your, in your business. And we realized that, yeah, we're complete opposites. And like I said, he's more detail oriented and I'm more big picture. And so, at the beginning, you kind of think you have to do everything. So like I'm forcing myself to learn underwriting and do due diligence and read all this and go over, the T12s and all that stuff. And I hated it, but I thought I had to do it. And, which it is good to know that. I'm not saying you should not know it. You should absolutely know that stuff. But like, if you can focus on your strengths, that's what makes partnerships work. Instead of trying to force somebody to do something or ask them to do something that they're not good at or not comfortable with, finding somebody to fit that in that seat on the bus, like the book Good to Great talks about, that's essential in a partnership, in a team, whatever. So we're really big on bringing in the right partners, bringing in the right team members. And so working with my brother has been a continuous evolution of our relationship. So just learning what we're both good at and what we can focus on and actually bring to the business and help the business move forward. But like I said, Traction was a great book that helped us with that. And then the DISC profile was really good as well, if people are looking for references and how to build a team and stuff like that.
What's been the hardest part of this syndication process or journey for you, Ashton?
Probably the hardest part is defining, what to do next, because you don't know what you don't know, right? You're learning a new skill. But I can tell you the cheat code right now, and I'm happy to share because this is the cheat code that we found, and I feel like you're an example of it. Branding. If you can brand and market yourself, and with today's social media and the reach you can have through the internet, it can be so powerful because people have to know you to like you and actually trust you to work with you, right? And if they don't know or like you, you'll never get their trust. But you have to start with know. So they have to know your brand. You have to be out there. You have to be networking. You have to be talking about what you're doing, providing value. Like you have to be doing that if you want to grow. And that's what led us to our current partnership with another apartment syndicator, and which has really catapulted us into larger syndications. So I think that kind of, I call it the cheat code. That's I'm not a video gamer or anything, but that's what I think of it as. Like, that's the cheat code to business. I think Gary Vaynerchuk says it best. He says, attention is the currency of business in today's world. And I think that's absolutely right.
If they don't know you, they can't trust you, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to invest with you. So, wow. No, well said, Ashton, no doubt about it. What's a way that you've recently improved your business that we could also apply to ours?
I think something that's really easy. I mean, everybody, I think what you did was awesome. You started a podcast. That's a great thing to do. We haven't done that yet. And you have a very good podcast. And I think you got in at the right time because, now everybody has a podcast. It's insane. But I think something you can do and should do is start a blog or write an ebook. Do a bunch of research on a specific topic that you don't think is covered in your area of business and write an ebook and let that be, put that on your website. And now you have something free that you can give to people. It's not hard to write an ebook. It's not hard to get an ebook published, but now you have something free you can give to people that will invite them to come to your website and see what you're doing. Or you can do a blog, and then you're just doing, once a month or once a week even, you're writing about a topic that you don't think is covered or that is of interest right now and provides value to people. And again, people can sign up for that. Now you have people continuously looking at your content, and you're educating yourself at the same time, which is huge, right? Because if you don't stay educated, stay on the top of your, what your focus is, whether it's small, multifamily, residential, whatever, or multifamily, like you're not going to stay relevant. So, and as this thing is evolving, man, new stuff is coming out all the time. I mean, look at where we are right now. Everybody's, at home wearing masks if they go out. And like things are changing all the time. There's an election. Like there's so much stuff to write about and share. So those are two things I think are very powerful: a blog or an ebook. I mean, obviously a podcast or a YouTube channel is powerful as well.
What's your best source for meeting new investors right now?
I think LinkedIn is very powerful, but I really I like to get in front of people. I'm a people person. I think that, if you can find good virtual meetups, which, meetups should be doing right now because everything's shut down for the most part. Virtual meetups are great. We have our own virtual meetup, but there's plenty of virtual meetups where they have like a guest, there's a networking session, and Zoom has facilitated this. I mean, hats off to them. They're being really smart about it. Now they're making breakout rooms where you can, and in fact, I saw you on Brian Briscoe's meetup a few months ago, maybe. But yeah, same thing. Like you get together, there's a guest speaker, brings a bunch of value, Q&A, and then there's breakout rooms where everybody can talk and you can network with people. And I think that's really powerful. Getting in front of people is, they can see you 100 times on social media and never talk to you. So, but meetups.
What's the number one thing that's contributed to your success?
I would say clarity, commitment, and daily action, but we've already talked about that. But I think, the last thing is partnerships. And that's by getting out there and meeting people and finding the right people to work with, making sure your values aligned, making sure your focus is aligned. But partnerships, absolutely partnerships. No one's smarter than all of us. And if you want to go fast, go alone, go far together, right? We want to go far. So we're looking for partners. We're looking for people to work with, and that's what business is, right? Building relationships and making things happen.
And how do you like to give back?
Giving back, we've partnered a couple syndications with nonprofits, and we're really happy with that. So right now, we're partnering with a nonprofit that builds playgrounds that are accessible for the handicapped. So we're really happy to be doing that. But I think there's multiple ways we give back, obviously through education and providing content as well. But I think that's the one we're most proud of right now.
Nice. Well, Ashton, it's been an honor to meet you again. Thank you for your service. I just can't thank you enough for that just level of risk that you take for all of us that just enjoy the freedoms that we have. And but just thank you for just elaborating on the mindset. I can't say it enough. I mean, I talk about it every time I talk to a group of people personally as well. But just the clarity and commitment and the daily actions. And I just think you've laid that out very well. And I know if the listeners will, just start doing those things alone, they're going to start seeing results. I did myself. So just grateful for your story and you being willing to share. I'd love to have you back and let's talk about, either the 220 unit or one of those deals. And we could also, there's numerous other things I know we could talk about. So would welcome you or your partner back, either one. But tell the listeners how they can get in touch with you and learn more about you.
Sure, Whitney. Thank you. You can go to our website and get in touch with us there. It's www.valkyrie, so VALKERE group.com. Or my brother and I are both on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And then our company has a LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook page too. So valkyriegroup.com or Valkyrie Group. If you just type in Valkyrie Group, it's the only one on the web like that. So, but we're always happy to talk to new and experienced investors. Always happy to talk to, people that have questions about what we're doing or whatever. So, yeah, thank you, Whitney. It's been an honor to be on here. It really has. I've really appreciated your podcast over the years. And really look forward to, seeing where everything goes in the future.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Syndication Show, brought to you by LifeBridge Capital. LifeBridge Capital works with investors nationwide to invest in real estate, while also donating 50% of its profits to assist parents who are committing to adoption. LifeBridge Capital, making a difference, one investor and one child at a time. Connect online at www.lifebridgecapital.com for free material and videos to further your success.